So, two quick facts first before I start my story. First, 5th grade boys at some point do this stupid game where they say their names backwards, right? So Mike is Ecom and Jim is Midge, and you get the point, right? It's stupid. So we're 5th grade boys. Second thing is, when I was 8 years old, I discovered my brother's collection of Playboy magazines. I didn't really discover it. I came upon the, well, I didn't come upon, I overheard the following conversation between my 12-year-old brother and his friend. That's a great rack. That is a great rack. She has a great rack. They all have great racks. I didn't know what a rack was, so I tried to intervene, get this magazine, and soon found it's very dangerous to try to take your 12-year-old brother's Playboy magazine away from him. So, but I didn't come to talk to you about my brother's collection of Playboy magazines. I came to talk to you about Mrs. Helfrich's 5th grade talent show. Now, the 5th grade talent show was the same as, as any other talent show. You get up there, you have a few minutes, and you show off your talent. And most of those talents were the pretty basic things like, I talked about my baseball heroics, and somebody talked about their piano, and somebody sang a song, and it was all pretty mundane until Kathy, the cutest girl in 5th grade, got up and put on this exotic Middle Eastern music and undressed down to a bikini and a few veils and started dancing, belly dancing to the most amazing song I had ever heard. And I was transfixed, as were all the other boys in 5th grade class. And it was like heaven. And suddenly, I had this thought that was Kathy's last name backwards is Rack. And I said, Kathy has a rack. Kathy has a beautiful rack. And I didn't say that out loud, but suddenly a important piece of the universe's puzzle clicked into place for me, and I was very happy. So Kathy sat down, and then Troy got up. Now Troy's name backwards is Yort, which is clumsy and awkward, just like Troy was. Troy was shy, and Troy was overweight, but we were in 5th grade. You didn't say overweight, you said fat. And Troy had one more thing working against him, and that was Troy was part of a group of kids that had recently started getting bused into our school from another part of town, and Troy had a rough life. And so Troy slowly and clumsily and awkwardly walked up to the front of the class and stood there for a minute, looking at the door, and then at the door appeared what we assume was his father and a little girl, 2 years old. And this girl slowly walks towards Troy, and she's very shy, and she's holding on to Troy's leg, and Troy introduces his little sister, and he says, every day I go home, and my sister and I sit at the kitchen table, and we eat a bowl of cereal. And I ask my sister, what color is the sky, and what color is the grass? And soon his little sister is giggling, and she's climbing on him. She's actually climbing up his leg on his back, and Troy is now kind of laughing, and she's laughing, and he's just telling stories as his little monkey of a sister is crawling over his shoulders and around his neck, and the whole class is laughing at this, and Troy is telling his story, and he finishes his story, and his sister, kind of crawls down, and he shoos her back to his dad. And Mrs. Helfrich says, Troy, what's your talent? And Troy says, my dad says nobody can make my little sister happier as I do.
All right.
And at that moment, the second piece of the universe's puzzle clicked in place for me, though I didn't recognize it for years. And that was that the danger we face is not finding your brother's collection of Playboy magazines. The danger we face is that we go through our lives looking for knowledge and skills and romance to survive this world. And the real danger is we may actually forget the most meaningful talent we have is the ability to bring joy to our brother and sister.
Good man. Good.